Hey folks, in this lecture we will learn one of the most exciting and powerful concepts in modern programming, and that is APIs. In Python, API stands for Application Programming Interface. It is like a bridge that helps two different programs talk to each other. When you are using Python and you want your program to interact with another system, maybe a website, an online store, a payment system, a map, or even a weather forecast service, you use an API. This API acts like a translator. It receives your message, passes it to the other system, waits for the response, and then brings that reply back to your Python program in a format it understands.
Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on that like button if you like my video. Also click on that notification bell. Thank you.
Let's think about what happens behind the scenes. When Python program sends a message to another server asking for something specific, that message usually includes a few important details: what you want, how you want it, and who you are. These requests are usually made using a method called get, which simply asks for data, or sometimes post when you're sending new data to be saved. Python has a special tool called the requests module, which makes sending these types of messages very easy. When you send a GET request using Python to an API, you're basically saying, please give me this information. And when the API receives that request, it checks what you asked for, prepares the data, and sends it back, often in a format called JSON. JSON looks like a dictionary or a table. It's made up of keys and values. For example, if you're asking for information about books, the API might send back book titles, prices, authors, and ratings, all neatly organized inside a JSON file. Python can then read that file and let you work with the information directly in your code. Let's take an example of the Books A Million website, a large American bookstore chain. Suppose they offer an API that allows developers to access their catalog of books. You could use Python to ask their API, show me all books in the mystery category that cost less than $10. Server checks this request, finds all the matching books, and sends you a list. Your Python program receives that list and can then show it on your website or app. You didn't have to open a browser, copy and paste data, or type anything manually. The Python program did all the work in just a few seconds. But APIs are not just limited to books. APIs are everywhere. If you use a weather app that shows real-time updates, it's likely using a weather API. If you use a ride-sharing app, it might be using a map API to show you where the cars are. In Python, working with APIs means you can make your app smarter and more connected to the real world. You can build a fitness app that uses a health API, or a stock app that shows real-time prices using a finance API. All of this becomes possible by simply learning how to connect, send a request, read the response, and use that data. Let's look at how Python helps in this process. First, you import the requests module, which makes internet calls. Then you store the API link inside a variable, and this is the URL like where the server listens for requests. After that, you use the get method to send your message. When the server replies, Python gives you the full response. If the reply was successful, you'll get the data in text format, which you then convert into JSON. Once you have it in JSON format, you can extract whatever you need, just like reading data from a dictionary. You can loop through it, print it, store it in a file, or even show it on a web page. One key thing about APIs is that many of them require something called an API key. This key is like a password. It tells the other system who you are and whether you're allowed to use their service. It also helps the company track how much data you're using. If you're using the Books a Million API, they might give you a free key with a limit, like 1,000 requests per day. If you go over that, you may have to wait or upgrade your access. In Python, you usually send the API key along with your request, either in the URL or in the headers. When you're done using the API, you can take the data and do many things with it. For example, you can store it in a CSV file, save it to a database, or build a chart to show trends. You can even write a program that runs every day, collects new data from the API, and updates your app automatically. So, this is a simple explanation of what APIs are and how we can use them in Python to connect with real world services. See you in the next lecture.